I'm Jason Ward. I live in Cushing, Maine. I'm a registered Republican.
It's unorganized territory where Maine voters have their say on the 2026 election in America's political moment. I'm Jay Field. It's Thursday, March 12th.
I didn't leave the GOP. I didn't leave the Republican Party. The party left me.
We all have that friend, right? The one who, when the subject turns to politics, elections, or the state of the world, they simply go there. This is the person who says out loud the stuff everyone around them is thinking and worrying about, but not saying. This is Jason Ward. Jason went to the United States Merchant Marine Academy. He served as a naval engineering officer on a guided missile cruiser in the Persian Gulf and was the ship's judge advocate general. After leaving the Navy, Jason moved to the private sector, climbed the ladder in executive recruiting, and now runs his own headhunting business. I met Jason late one afternoon in an empty conference room at the Cushing town office, a few days after Alex Preddy was killed by Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis.
Where to start? You don't want to look at it, but how do you look away from this catastrophe? These two killings are collateral damage to what they're trying to do to round up people who are here illegally. That's what they tell us. But we know, yes, they are doing that. But in this net, if you're black or brown, you might be from somewhere else. And if there's a community that's concentrated, like Lewiston, notice they haven't chosen cities where populations are very large. I believe in the Second Amendment. This gentleman had a right to bear a firearm, and then to have an administration official say he shouldn't have been there or he shouldn't have had a firearm. We've been handed a red herring. While we retain our rights to individual firearm ownership, the need for a regulated militia to protect ourselves from federal force has been completely co-opted through the process of whether it's ICE or government agencies withholding money for the state to force closer and closer cooperation between community policing, the National Guards that belong to the states, and the military. I listened to Rush Limbaugh growing up, right? All the time, right? The purpose of the military is to kill people and break things, right? He used to say. They are not to be used on your own citizens within your own borders.
When you were growing up, was politics something that folks in your home were engaged in? Was it talked about?
Around the dinner table at my house, it was what was happening in sports and the teams that we were involved in and our friends. And, mom and dad had their conversation, but we talked about politics from time to time. I knew during the Carter administration that when I was able to vote, I was going to vote for Ronald Reagan.
What are some of your earliest memories around engagement with politics and elections?
For a number of years, I helped organize and then went to D.C. for the Right to Life March, January 22nd, trying to overturn Roe versus Wade. Was I a single issue voter? No, but it was one of the primaries. It was a core issue for me at the time. I was adopted as a child, so that hit close to home. The right to life, to be adopted, to have a shot.
What are some of the biggest issues that you're paying attention to as we head into this year?
There are a few of them that are obvious. I work with company boards and CEOs, and I help them make business decisions so that they can get ready for what's coming next. Supply chains are now vulnerabilities. Trade agreements are weapons to be discarded. Tariffs are things to be brandished about with our friends, our closest friends. Uncertainty is bad for business, and we have an unrelenting diet of it for the foreseeable future. My clients are in the most defensive postures they can possibly be in financially, and they're not sticking their neck out. No big personnel decisions, no big capital expense decisions. The business of the United States is long-term business enterprises, and you can't make long-term enterprise decisions in these conditions. So economy is number one on my mind. The other is our civil liberties are under attack from every quarter. My fellow veterans and I all took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, not an office, not a person, right? Not the flag, the Constitution. And it has been run roughshod with his administration.
What concerns you about the discourse, the communication that you see going on
in the United States.
As a society, we're talking past each other. We're not listening. It's the age of misinformation. And the franchise to vote is an important thing.
Have you ever voted for Trump?
No. No, I voted for Kamala Harris in the last election.
Was that difficult?
Oh, no. Not even a slight, no. Character matters. We don't do business with characters in our own town who make us uneasy. If they didn't treat your neighbor right, why would you hire them to do a job? But that's what the American electorate did.
Susan Collins is running for re-election. What have you thought about how she's handled some of the issues that have given you pause with the Trump administration?
I'm dissatisfied. Susan Collins, all of these people know what good leadership is. They know what public service is. They know what it means to put their constituents first. And they have not. They have either put their careers first, their political ambitions first, but they haven't put their constituents first.
Did you vote for her in 2020?
I did. I've never voted for a Democrat until Trump ran the second time, at any level.
And this time?
No. The Republican Party, the GOP, owns this. They wear it. I'm no Democrat, but I will vote against these people who have broken trust with the Republican Party.
What would you like to see happen in November?
A changing of most of the incumbents in office from both parties. The Democratic Party as well. They do not get a pass. I think they're kidding themselves. I think a lot of them are going to be out of office as well. I think we're going to have a lot of freshmen, brand new elected officials in Washington, or at least I hope so. And that those group of newly arrived work together despite the old school politicians who may still be around. You know, it's just a bunch of crusty white guys, a bunch of boomers who think I have a different retirement program, I have a different healthcare program, I get all these perks. They've lost touch with the electorate.
Do you have any friends and family who've voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah, it's put a terrible strain on the relationship. And then what do you do about it? How do you discuss anything if you don't have a shared grip of reality? For most of those people, emotion overran their reason in making a good decision, and they thought that character doesn't matter because up to this point, character has mattered, but it hasn't hit the everyday man and woman like it is now when you've got no character.
Have you ever thought about running for office?
Yeah, I have. I thought about it and thought about it. I've wanted to get engaged. I've been to the Knox County Republican meetings, and it was all overtaken by, national level, railing against ethnic minorities, right? Stuff that doesn't matter. Things that have so little to do with the welfare of the families here. If you look at the Pareto diagram of the biggest bang for your buck, you should be concentrating on these issues, not whether somebody has a rainbow flag in a hallway in a public building.
Do you think that anything fundamentally changed in terms of where this goes, where things go in our country?
I do. It's not a pleasant thought. We're headed for bloodshed and more of it, and maybe martial law, which is the goal, the administration's goal. And I
think so?
I think they'll attain that goal, yes. Because I don't think that the American electorate will let this be a bloodless coup.
So any backpedaling that Trump has done?
Everything he says is a lie. Everything he accuses somebody else of doing, he's already done first. And yet we keep applying the litmus test of what we would expect from a rational adult. From the time he left office the first time, he and his group have been ride or die, because it was get reelected or you'll be in jail, or the Epstein files will eventually come out, or something. There is no way he leaves office. He's not leaving, other than on a stretcher, dying of old age or whatever he's got. It'll take us decades. If there is a change in administration, it would take decades to catch up with every violation of law, every transgression against civil rights. Do we just shrug it off? Or does the fever dream break when the Wicked Witch dies and all the flying monkeys are no longer under the thrall of the evil influence? Is that what we think is going to happen?
Unorganized Territory is edited and produced by me. Sumner McCain wrote, recorded, and produced our theme music. You can subscribe to Unorganized Territory for free on Substack or listen on Apple, Spotify, and other major podcast platforms. Drop us an email or a comment and let us know what you think. Unorganized Territory is a production of Waldo Station Media. I'm Jay Field. Thanks for listening.